Amy Schumer recently had an interview with Marie Claire where she shared some intimate details about her personal life, specifically when she lost her virginity and how it was not a pleasant experience. Now, interestingly enough, she didn't refer to it as a moment where she was sexually assaulted or raped, but she does say that when she was 17 and she lost her virginity, it was not consensual. Here's what she said during the interview. "My first sexual experience was not a good one. I didn't think about it until I started reading my journal again. When it happened, I wrote about it almost like a throwaway. It was like, and then I looked down and realized he was inside me. He was saying, 'I'm so sorry, and I can't believe I did this.'" So she also talks about how, this was a very long time ago. It was 17 years ago, and she's not really interested in punishing this guy and, making a big deal about it. But she does say that it's interesting how there are various ways and various factors that play a role in sexual assault and rape. She says, "This was 17 years ago. There are just so many factors. I had another time with a boyfriend where I was saying, 'No, stop,' and it was just completely ignored."
So there's another situation where shining a spotlight on it makes you realize the severity of the problem. But the people who don't want you to solve the problem then will yell at you and go, "Oh man, that's just kids being kids," or whatever it is. Now look, she's not saying let's go get the guy and let's 17 years later put him in jail.
Yeah.
And she's not even calling it rape. I'm not even sure she's calling it sexual assault.
No.
She's not, right? So she's just saying, look, this happens and it shouldn't. So the more we talk about it, the more people will get educated on what shouldn't happen, so that the girls at her age can then say, hey, you know what? No, really, you got to stop this. And now guys might not anyway, and then that's and then you could prosecute, right? And so and more importantly in this case, the responsibility is on the person not to do the assault. And so sometimes maybe males will grow up in a culture now where they think, oh, okay, no matter how horny I am, no matter how far we've gone, no matter what I think is, something that I really, really want to do, and even if I'm a teenager and I'm got all these hormones and all this stuff, no means no.
Yep.
And it's not like these guys didn't know. I mean, the first guy said, "I'm so sorry, I don't know why I did that."
Yeah.
So he knew that what he was doing was wrong. But maybe if we all talk about it enough, next time he'll know enough not to do it to some other person.
Yeah, and it's not.
And I'm not talking about that guy in particular. I'm talking about as a culture. So for the next teenager, for the next whoever, right, to say, I shouldn't do this.
It's not easy for any woman to come forward and share stories like that. But it's especially difficult for a public figure to come forward and share such an intimate thing, an intimate part of her life, right? And so, look, I know that Amy Schumer isn't for everyone, right? She's very out there and she's very open and honest, and that makes a lot of people uncomfortable. But that's actually what I love about her. And I think starting a dialogue is the most important thing you can do when it comes to this issue. Because like almost every other issue that we talk about on the show, you have people that go to their corners, right? And the arguing and the fighting immediately begins. But I think the way that she's handled this is good because, she's not coming at it from a super aggressive, angry perspective. She's coming at it from, this is a matter of fact and let's have a discussion about it.
Yeah. And look, it's courageous because no matter how much she was aggrieved, some people will blame her for it. Oh, yeah, of course. You know how she is. Right? And they'll think that she was overly promiscuous when she was assaulted.
Yeah.
And she's trying to be as open-minded about it as possible, but people will attack her anyway. But she took that on, and she was, courageous enough to do that. And I like the way she did it. Now, you got a right to do it any way you like. If she had every right to be angry, she had every right to go after them, etc. But the reason I like it is because I don't want to blame. It's not about blaming people.
Right.
I mean, in any given case, somebody assaulted you, you can blame them. You got every right to blame them, right? But I'm saying as an overall society, I just want to have the conversation so that we learn about it, so that people do the right thing going forward. And she's doing it in a very gentle way where she's saying, look, I'm not going after anybody, but know that it's not kosher. Like, don't do that. And looking back on it, it's amazing I wasn't more mad, right? And just understand it's not right. I know that it seems so obvious, but obviously it isn't obvious to a lot of people. So that's why we got to talk about it, and that's why when a celebrity like Amy Schumer does, it makes a difference.